Good morning, Las Vegas, and welcome to A Healthier Tomorrow. I am Will Rucker.
And I'm Ciara Owens.
And we are so thankful that you have tuned in for this morning's broadcast on this day before Thanksgiving.
Yes, it's crazy. The streets are actually a little quiet. People staying home today, I guess, taking care of the family, preparing to cook tomorrow.
On the way in, I was talking to my friend from Texas, and he's in the kitchen telling Alexa, restart the timer, do this, do that. I'm like, who cooking, you or the machine?
A little bit of both. You know, we need the Alexa for the music, the timer, and everything in between.
That's
Maybe
right.
even a little bit of the recipe.
That's right. Yeah, check the recipe out, and it helps you out. Good. Well, hey, it is the week of Thanksgiving, which means so much to so many people. How do you define thankfulness, gratitude?
Oh, gratitude. Thankfulness is something that I try to practice every single day, even ending my day on 3 things that I'm thankful for. But how to define it, anything that brings me joy, anything that opens my eyes, anything that makes me aware of the magic that happens inside of my life, because things that sometimes you're thankful for or grateful for aren't necessarily always the most beautifully wrapped things.
Yeah.
But things that came with lessons or blessings afterwards. So
being thankful for the lesson.
Yeah.
That's good. You know, and I'm not gonna get preachy this morning because this is the community health. This is the community health show. But you know, in my faith tradition, we say give thanks in all things.
Yes.
And so that means even when we are dealing with difficult circumstances, this time of year we deal with a lot of grief because we see who's not at the table. And I think that's even more pronounced after COVID because we've got a lot of young folks not at tables these days. And with violence on the streets and police involved shootings and just all the things, the political climate. I mean, all of this is just weighing on folks, and we can still find a reason even in that to be thankful and to have gratitude and to recognize that that's not just something we do because it's something that sounds good. It actually improves our physical health as well.
Yes, the physical and mental for sure. It allows us to be able to anchor in on the good things and how things are working out for us, even when it seems like it isn't. You sit there and named a lot of things that have affected us and put us through. And I'm not gonna lie, one thing that I've been showing extreme gratitude for lately is getting from point A to point B safely in my car.
That part.
I've been seeing a lot of car accidents with just fatalities and extreme injuries and multiple times throughout the day. And social media doesn't help because you get it in real time on certain Facebook groups. And so that is one thing. Every single time I give thanks and pray before I get on the road, because that's something I could easily take for granted. But somebody has not made it to their next destination.
And let's go a little deeper even in that. The fact that you have transportation.
Yes.
The fact that you can get from point A to point B.
Yes.
I mean, if you think about it, let's take this global. We actually have our own vehicles.
That part. And can decide when we want to up and leave and move and shake and everything else, and not have to depend on other things. So yes, I love that you was taking a step further.
And when we don't have our own vehicles, we have access to Uber and Lyft.
Yes.
And when we can't do Uber and Lyft, we got the buses.
Yes.
If we don't got the buses, we got a cab. If we don't get the cab, we can walk.
Yes.
If we can't walk, we can roll.
Or we can ask somebody. We can lean on the community, lean on each other.
Or we can lean into the community and say, can you lend me a hand, or in this case, a foot?
Yes.
Get me from point A to point B. I'm going to stop. All right. So thankfulness actually does help to reduce stress and anxiety. It lowers blood pressure and creates better overall health. So mental resilience is something that we all can practice. And I'm just thinking about even our past guest earlier this month, talking about the benefits of eating nutritious foods and thinking about managing diabetes and avoiding diabetes and recognizing if you have pre-diabetes, what you can do to impact that. And so I just want to kind of hear from you. We've been doing this a minute now together.
Yes.
And so help me understand what you've taken away from our shows.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I've taken so many things from the amazing website Capital Mind that we sat there and talked about 2 weeks ago, and just all of the free resources that are there, to leaning into CCSD. I saw a post that someone said, like, CCSD doesn't feed our kids, and this. I'm like, actually, no. I sat down with the amazing dietitian that actually plans CCSD meals, and he's shown what that looks like. Even just the simple small choices that we can make when we looked at the 5320, where, 0 sugary drinks and 5 food groups on our plate and getting 30 minutes of exercise and different things of that nature, really incorporating that inside of my life, and just being intentional about my wellness in every aspect. And it doesn't have to be a grand change, but something small that slowly adds up.
Yes.
Because it is the little things that help make the difference over the big ones. So you'll still see me even on Thanksgiving with a nice big healthy plate, but you'll also see me with some water.
There we go.
You'll see me with other choices to help combat it. And even just the concept of being active and taking control of my own health and being very intentional.
Yeah, having the recognition that it's not out of your control, that there are things that you can actually do. Even something as simple as when you start the day, start it with a glass of water.
Yes.
Something that simple. And let's not forget our girls down the street at Obodu Collective.
Oh, I love them. I actually, as I pulled up, I said, dang, I forgot their hats, because Tamika asked for some hats for when the last time I went and volunteered on Nevada Day. Like, I tasted for the first time ever a red okra because of the amazing Obodu Collective. And I ate raw okra for the first time.
Wow, okay.
Yes, when they were on the radio show, I had a little bit of time, so I went right down the street and joined them. And Miss Tamika Henry, one of our newest school board members,
yes.
She said, Ciara, have you ever had a raw one? And I said, I can eat okra raw because I'm used to okra and tomatoes, fried okra in some type of gumbo or stew. And she said, yes, Ciara, come taste this. And she gave me some hummus, and I ate away, and I was so impressed.
Let's talk about that for a minute, because I've not yet had raw okra, but I use it for soup because I love the consistency that it helps to bring out, and certainly in gumbo, that sort of thing. But I've never tried it raw. And then you added the extra element of hummus.
Yes.
Because we don't always eat hummus.
No, we do not. It took me some years to eat hummus, and I love a Mediterranean restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And I still am picky about it. But give me some red pepper hummus or any type of little something with some flavor, and I lean into it. And it was such a healthy and filling snack. And so I've actually had it a few times since then. And so putting away the pita, because sometimes I thought, like, okay, if I eat hummus, I have to eat the pita. No, I can eat that raw vegetable. I can take that raw okra or the bell peppers or the cucumber, and it be even healthier than me taking that amazing warm piece of pita that typically gets served.
I love a warm pita. So why are we talking about this? Because it matters for our health. And these are things that all of us can practice, especially as we look forward to, many of us are going to enjoy some lavish spreads tomorrow.
Yes.
And even in this moment where we're enjoying some of these things that we only have once or twice a year, we can still temper it a little bit. We don't have to go overboard in these things. And we can add new things and try different things. What better time to try something different than when you've got a whole feast in front of you?
I don't know about that, Will. I don't know if I want somebody testing out.
You don't want to test it on Thanksgiving?
Not on Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, I need a home run. Okay. Even though at my house we are testing it out. But it's funny that you say you don't only eat it once or twice a year. It's crazy. My mom used to make a Thanksgiving Day dinner at least once a month on Sunday for Sunday dinner. So the yams, the turkey, the macaroni and cheese, the greens, all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. We were spoiled, where it's just we had that all the time. Mom, can we have lasagna for Christmas? You know what I mean? Or can we have can we do something different? Just because we get it all the time. But one of the things is you sat there and said trying something new. I was reading about yams and sweet potatoes this morning because that's my task. Mm-hmm. So I said I can't mess it up because my little sister will drag me. But I say this to say I was reading posts and reading things, and people were like, you don't need to add sugar, brown sugar, and vanilla and stuff to sweet potatoes because they're already sweet. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm making yams. And then someone said, I've never had a buttered or like sugary flavored sweet potato until they started eating at some of the other cultures' restaurants and eating a roasted sweet potato, and they're like, "You're right, actually it is sweet. I don't need to add all this extra into it." I
love that. And we miss out on so much because we cover up the flavor. So I've always been a big salad eater. I love salads. But when I was younger, I would drench it in dressing. And so all I'm really eating is dressing.
Just the dressing.
Like, there's other stuff in there, but I can only taste the dressing. But when I learned like the different flavors, just have a little carrot in there, a little red onion or a radish, or sprinkle in some herbs and like parsley and that sort of thing. And those flavors just with a little lemon on it or a little...
You don't need the dressing. It's like, go ahead and leave that somewhere else. It kind of makes me think, as growing up, even when I eat steak, I love a steak. I used to think as a kid, like, I need the steak sauce. Where's the Heinz 57? That was my favorite.
Okay.
More than A1. And then now I'm like, if I need steak sauce on my dressing, this steak ain't hitting like it was before. So
no,
that's the same with salad.
I grew up in a house with the A1, and I did, no offense to my lovely parents, but I discovered it was because they didn't know how to cook the steak. And so we had to mask what they done messed up with the A1.
I'm laughing because we have these conversations with my mom. My mom is the cook, like, in the family, for real. And as we got over, be like, Mom, we don't have to, like, cook the steak. Can we have it medium? Can we have it like this? Because it's like, we're going to heat it up again later anyway.
Oh, that changed my life, too.
It did.
Oh, my goodness. And I try not... So... As you learn, you live, you learn, you do better. I've learned not to eat as much.
Yes.
Because I was having steak every day because it was just good. But I've learned less is better for my health. Mm-hmm. And when you don't make it like shoe leather, it actually is really good. And you get a little moisture in there. And it's a different experience when it's not just overcooked.
We went to Texas Roadhouse one day, me and my partner and his kids, and we're sitting there, and his son goes, I'm cutting into my steak that I got medium, my filet. He says, Ciara, don't eat that. Don't eat that. Seriously, don't eat that. So I'm sitting there thinking something's wrong, and I'm looking, I said, what's wrong? He said, Ciara, it's still bleeding. It's bleeding. And he tells his son, like, no, it's okay. Like, it's going to be more tender. It's going to be tender. I said, you want to taste it? And he said, yeah. So he tasted it. He said, oh, that is good.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to change lives earlier. So we know not to eat it as often. What's the best way to eat it for us to be able to properly chew it and properly digest it, because it's already not the best.
So tip of the day. You just brought it up. One of the tips of the day. Family, friends, loved ones, chew your food.
Yes. Yes, it helps digestion, hands down. I think that might even have been something that we've talked about with a past guest, where it's like, let's slow it down.
Yeah. And that's another gratitude practice, is just being in the present and really slowing down to take in every moment as it comes. And we go through our meals, we watch TV while we're eating, we do all this other stuff while we're eating, and we miss out on that experience. So take time to really actually savor what you're experiencing, and chewing it helps you on so many fronts. You mentioned the digestion, and it's actually good for your teeth.
Yes.
It helps to keep those healthy. So, I mean, there's so many benefits to just slowing down. And as you start the meal, let's start with that. Think about where all of this came from, because when you start looking at all the different places on the globe these items come from, so tea from China, cocoa from West Africa, French bread from France, you know. Yes. I don't know if it's actually from France, but it's called French bread.
We gonna sit there, we gonna give them the credit, you know.
Yeah. But you just think about all these things on your plate and where they originate from. It really makes you feel connected.
Yes, and even our own food, like the food that you sat there and talked about, you know, some of us only indulge in twice a year. Like, what is the history of the meaning, or why are we eating collard greens, or how did we end up with certain pieces of the meat? Oxtails, yes, even though they're expensive as I don't know what now, that's not how it started.
Did not start that way.
Did not start that way. It was not a delicacy before we were the only ones really eating them. And things have changed, so it's just being very appreciative of how we took what others consider trash or the wasteful parts and made it into something with our magic and our love and our seasonings.
That's right. I love that you brought that to the conversation, because we do kind of forget that these were the scraps,
Yeah.
and it didn't quote unquote taste good. It was the leftovers that nobody else wanted that we got, and we made something magical out of it. And I think that that's a lesson for us we can take in so many areas, because some of our dreams, some of our ideas, some of our relationships, others might look at and be like, oh, that's garbage.
Yep.
But you can put a little seasoning on it, and you can let it cook a little, let it marinate a little bit, let it just kind of cook down into the base and get something magical out of it.
Yeah, watch life play out. Well, watch things play out, and see what we can turn it into. And it's not toxic positivity, but optimism is key, and that also is something that is great for your mental, hands down. Like being able to look at a situation and what can I take from this? What can I make of this? What was this meant to be and become? And I think that is probably one of the biggest reasons why I've been able to work through and continue to move through some heavy obstacles in life, is because of what am I supposed to take from this?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to walk away from?
Absolutely. And I appreciate you bringing even toxic positivity in, because sometimes in this conversation about thankfulness and gratitude, it's like, wait a minute, but I'm actually hurting. Like, this is painful. It's not something I want to actually deal with. And recognizing that even in you could say there's purpose in the pain, right?
Yep.
Think about your physical body. If you get a cut, you want to know that that's there so that you can address it. The same is true with your emotional health, your mental health, your spiritual health. If you're feeling disconnected, if you're feeling diseased, that's a signal, that's a sign, and you're not without power to address it. You can take that into your hands, and you might got to clean it out a little bit.
Yes.
You might need to have someone else help you clean it, because you can't reach everywhere. Might need some stitches, might need a Band-Aid, but it is fixable.
Yeah. Most things are. Most things are.
I love that. Let time have time, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, we are wrapping up in our time. This show always goes by so quickly.
It does.
We've just got a few minutes left, but I want to get some practical ways to cultivate thankfulness. So, like some actionable tips that our listeners can take away. I'll start off with gratitude journaling.
Oh, I love a gratitude journal.
I love to do it for two reasons. Well, many reasons, but two I'll highlight. One is, as I'm taking time to write down things I'm grateful for, I begin to see more things to be grateful for. And it's like an avalanche of just, oh my gosh, there are a ton of things in my life that I need to spend, instead of 5 minutes journaling today, I need 15, because there's so much going on that I can look at. The other part that I really appreciate is when I go back to the journal.
Yes.
And I look at, oh my gosh, a year ago, look at what happened. 2 years ago, look at what happened. Last week, I forgot, I've been so busy, I didn't forgot. This happened last week. I'm so grateful for this thing. Or I learned so much from this. So gratitude journaling is a great way to help with mental health, to help again with reducing stress and anxiety, and also to reduce the feeling of isolation, because you begin to open up yourself and allow others in. What tip you got?
I like to sit there and end my day with listing 3 positive things or 3 moments of gratitude from the day. And that is literally what we do before we go to bed. And that allows me to, no matter how the day may have went, to be able to pick out moments that brought joy or that I was thankful for. And sharing it with someone also holds me accountable. Especially like when you think you had a bad day. Did you really have a bad day, or did you have a bad few moments? Because you just shared 3 powerful things from today that's going to set you up for tomorrow. And so it helps us to, put things into perspective.
Did you have a bad day, or did you have a few bad moments?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. That leads me to my next one, which is thank you notes. And I'm trying to get better at this, because I am so thankful for all the many wonderful people in my life and the things that I get to experience. And I don't always express it in the way that people can relate, because it's internal. Like I'm grateful on the inside, but thank you notes let me get that thankfulness out. So writing to someone who made a difference, it can improve relationships. It can reduce loneliness. And what I love about it too is when I get a thank you note, it lifts my whole day. Yes. I might have been having a bad moment, but I see that thank you note and just the thoughtfulness, and it could be a text, like that's cool. It could be an email, but if it's a handwritten thank you note, Your handwriting don't even have to be good.
It's a sucker for a card, especially because people don't do it enough.
Yeah.
Like, that's my favorite part of any gift or any holiday. Where's the card?
Mm-hmm.
And did you write in it? I don't want you just saying your name. Like, talk to me nice.
Talk to me. I gotta tell you this. So my grandmother, she was a science teacher, but she was also the drama teacher.
Sound like my type of woman.
Yes. So that's her. But she has a company that she never actually like made, but it's her company still, called Too Much Time. Because when she retired, she found herself with more time. So she would take cards. She would get some store bought. She would design her own, but she would always decorate it. So like my Christmas cards and things, she puts actual real hair on the Santas. She puts little jewels and things in the snow so it sparkles. She handwrites. She'll cross out words on the card.
Me too, and put a little initial CO. My bad.
I'm like, well, Grandma, why you just didn't get a card to say what you wanted it to say?
Nah, it's not the same.
I made it what I wanted to say.
Yep.
But I cherish those, and thankfully, the grandma I'm talking about is still here, but she's my only grandma that's left. And so I look back at the cards from her mother and from my dad's mom, and it's just seeing their words and their handwriting just lifts my spirits, even though I miss them so deeply. Having those cards with their love just kind of infused into it, just, oh gosh, can't even explain it.
No, I understand. I save cards too, big boxes,
Yeah.
and sometimes you got to go back and just revisit it and step into those moments. The words last way longer than sometimes the people do, so it's powerful.
Yeah. What else do you do to cultivate thankfulness?
To be honest, I volunteer. That's where I do a lot of my community service work. It's an opportunity for me not only to really anchor myself in the gratitude of what I still have and being able to bless someone else, but also it allows that connectedness and that sense of community. And so I pour, especially when things hurt me the most, that's where I go pour my energy and my time in, because I stand there and sometimes I'm like, but God, like that easily could be me, or that could have been me, or that can be me. And so I would hope that someone would be there to help me and support me through those times as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Ciara, for the love and light as always. So before we close out the show, what's happening in the community? What events we got going on?
Tell you, we have plenty going on. So as far as it goes, remember there's always food distribution at the center every single Wednesday from 9:30 to 11:30 at 401 South Maryland Parkway. If you have not signed up for your open enrollment, or you're questioning where you might not get insurance because of not having Medicaid, Medicare, or employee coverage, remember Nevada Health Link will be able to cover you on an affordable care pass. If you need any help or support, go ahead and call 702-906-1859. Open enrollment is now through January 15th, and you can explore insurance. Glove giveaway is happening today at the center as well. The weather is starting to drop. We're finally getting some fall/winter. There's also going to be a World AIDS Day Awards dinner at the center on Thursday, December 5th at 5:30 p.m. There's going to be a lot of dope art exhibits as well as the awards that are going to be happening. And always remember, y'all, the Arlene Cooper Community Health Center is open after dark. So if you need to get any type of health support after hours on Wednesdays and Thursdays, they're open until 7 p.m. and they are there for all of your health needs, and that is at the center, and you can visit that at thecenterlv.org/health-center for the Arlene Cooper Community Health Center.
Awesome. Lots happening in our community, which is great. I'm so proud of Las Vegas.
Yes, there's so many things and so many people doing the work.
Yes.
So go out, support, pour in, volunteer, and give thanks for all that we're able to provide.
Absolutely. So as we end today's program, I'm thankful for you as my fantastic co-host, co-pilot, co-life changer. And I want to invite all of our listeners to know that I'm thankful for y'all.
Yes.
For you tuning in and being just taking the time to invest in yourselves by thinking about your health. And I just want to invite you to take today to just pause and think about one thing you're thankful for in your lives right now, in your lives from the past, and something you're expecting in the future that you can be thankful for.
Claim them early.
And share that gift with somebody else. Let them know what you're thankful for. Perhaps write in, or you can call us sometime. Call into the show in 2 weeks when we're back on the air, and let us know what you're thankful for. And of course, all of this is because we know that health is wealth. And really, each day is all that's promised. You don't have tomorrow promised. So take care of your now and be good to yourselves. We really, really want you to take good care of yourself.
Yes, I'm thankful for you as well, Will. I hope everyone has an amazing holiday, and we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks.
As we always remind you, you are not just a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop, and what you do matters. So live compassionately. This has been A Healthier Tomorrow. I'm Will Rucker.
And I'm Ciara Owens.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, y'all.